Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back. If it's your first time joining, this is the Mr. Business for Real channel. I'm Q, and all we talk about on this channel is actionable information on how you can make a better future for yourself and for your family as far as financials go. So just to wrap it up full circle, we talked about mindset. We talked about budgeting, good habits to budget with. We talked about some of the key characteristics that are similar between all millionaires and how they become successful with managing money. And now that we got all that wrapped up, we want to kind of finish up these series with talking about brokerage accounts now. Because at this point, if you went through all my videos, if you haven't, go back through them. Once you get to that, past those points, now you're going to have like, okay, you know what your income is, you know what your expenses are, so now you should know what money you have left over, and now what you're going to do with it. You want to start investing. So before you start investing, you're going to have to start looking at brokerage accounts, right? So you may or may not know what brokerage accounts are, but this is the video series here where I'm going to break down some of the top, I would say, top recommended brokerage accounts for people who are beginners, and they aren't so complicated like some of the other ones you may see. So jumping right into it, let's switch this camera over here. So yes, and again, I made another PowerPoint so I can stay on topic and not get too distracted here. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me get my windows over here. All right, so what I did is I put together a quick little list. I think I listed about 12 brokerage accounts here, and again, I'm going to leave a link to give you a more descriptive text of all the brokerage accounts listed here. But this is just going to be some basics, and you could take this and run with it, or you can, like I said, go do your own due diligence, which I always encourage. No matter who you are watching on YouTube, don't just take people's word for it. Now, before we jump into it, before we start listing all these brokerage accounts, I'm going to let you know the ones I use personally, in case you want to take a look at them or like them, and I'll tell you what I use them for. So for my ETFs and stock trading and options trading, I use Robinhood, which a lot of people use before, and of course with the whole thing with GameStop and AMC, you know, some people jump ship, but anyway, I still use Robinhood. I use M1 Finance as well, and I was kind of switching over to M1 Finance around that same deal with the trying to go to the moon and all that stuff, right? I also have a Coinbase account that I use for trading crypto. I have a Weibo account as well, which I was trying that out. I have a Fidelity account, which I use for my retirement, my IRA and stuff like that. And the last but not least, I use also Fundrise, which I use for real estate investing. So that's my personal list. Like I said, and let me know if you're interested. I might make some videos later kind of breaking down how to use them and kind of the pros and cons of all these, and some of these may be on the list anyway. So without further ado, let's jump right into this PowerPoint here, and we're going to talk about brokerage accounts for beginners. All right, so first of all, what is a brokerage account? So we want to kind of break it down. This is not my definition. I took this directly off the internet, so everyone kind of understand what a brokerage account is. So a brokerage account is a type of a taxable investment account that can be opened with a brokerage firm, which is like one of the ones I listed earlier that I use. Okay, the account holder can order trades such as buying or selling stocks, and those orders are executed by the brokerage firm. So with that being said, the account holder, that is you or me, the one who's actually putting the money there, and then they execute the buying and selling of stocks and trades and things like that based on the orders you submit. So anyway, why is, oh, you all can't see that, but okay, my mouse pointer looking weird. All right, so jumping right into it, we're going to talk about what are some advantages and disadvantages of a brokerage account. And this is just basic pros and cons. This is not specific to any one particular brokerage firm or not, but I will dig into that a little bit later in this video. So, but for now, the overall pros and cons. I'm gonna start with the cons because I like to end with a positivity. So some of the cons with a typical brokerage account are investment returns aren't guaranteed, which they will give you that disclaimer with any type of brokerage firm that you're going to open up. It's going to be in the fine print that most people don't read, but they're just letting you know that never invest money that you cannot go without, right? So if it's going to make you or break you, don't put that money into a brokerage account, right? But this is pretty much anytime you're doing any investments, you should have already paid off your debts anyway, and now you got a little excess money. This is the excess money you want to help grow and build for. And there's two types of investment strategies that a lot of people go to. It's kind of like the buy and hold, where it's like you're looking at long-term investing, and you have the short-term investments where people are like moving stocks around, buying dips, and they're doing options trading and all that stuff. Swing trading, I believe, is what they refer to it as. But anyway, back to the list here. So any investment funds may lose value depending on investments and market conditions, which, as we've seen, when there's a recession or a crash or a market correction, there's going to be fluctuations. But all that you should take into consideration anyway before you go in to invest in any particular stocks or trades. Financial advisors may charge fees for planning services, and I would say probably most financial advisors charge fees. Not that that's I would say particular good or bad thing, but to each their own. But that, again, this stuff will be broken down depending on the firm you go with. They will explain if they have fees and what those fees are and how it is charged. So make sure, like I say, you read the fine lines and the fine print before you just start dumping money into a brokerage firm. All right. Do not usually offer lending products. Okay, like car loans and mortgages. So yeah, so typically, obviously, and that's just, you could refer to that as like, I guess leverage or whatever. You can't have your money sitting there and take a loan out against the funds there, or we're not going to talk about that because that's going to get too complicated right away. But like I said, typically, yes, you can't go to these brokerage firms and get like a loan. They're going to run your credit and loan you money, right? So. But anyway, and the last kind we have here is limited in-office services. So no cash withdrawals or cashier's checks. Most of these apps are either mobile apps or they're going to be websites, and there's not an actual physical location. But I actually think that is actually one of the pros, as you see here, where you have access to a large network of no-fee ATMs. So keep that in mind, depending on which brokerage firm you go with, right? So now I'm going to skip that pro. But anyway, the other three pros are easily move money from within your account to start buying investment securities. So this meaning once you deposit money, it's going to be sitting in that brokerage account, not currently invested in any particular stock or ETF or anything like that. So that money you can use freely and place orders and trades and things like that in almost real time. But like I said, the money is very liquid, and if you need to, and with some actual brokerages, they actually pay you, or you actually earn interest with that money sitting there, a lot more than you're going to earn from it sitting in a bank account, by the way. So keep that in mind. Online trading or online research tool access, like computer trading software and fund research. So most, if not all of them, should have that anyway. So before you invest, you can kind of do a little bit of research and see how a current stock has been performing, both historically and in real time. You also have, with some of the platforms, they give you an option called paper trading, where they give you fake money, so you can't cash it out, but they'll give you like fake money for you to actually practice trading before you start using your real money, which I would say that is a good way to start, so you can get familiar with the platform and familiar with how the stock market moves. So you will be able to use the paper trading to actually trade in real time with the real statistics and how the market is actually moving with fake money. But it doesn't matter whether you win or lose, you don't get or lose anything, but it's just good practice. And last but not least, here is reduced fee structure for banking services like account minimums and overdrafts. So most of these, like I said, the ones I use, I'm trying to think. I don't think like Robin. I don't think they have a minimum. I think you can deposit $1 in there. What's one of the other ones? Webull is another one a lot of people use. There's Moo, that's a newer one. but all these usually don't have typical minimums to open it up. You just throw whatever you want in there. The only thing I notice with some of them is if you're new to their platform, they may limit how much you can deposit at any given time until you have like some type of a track record, or you unlock different levels within your account to access more deposits. But anyway, moving along, let's start talking about these brokerages. So the first four I have listed here, we have Robinhood. So not to make this video super long, so I'm just gonna go over just a brief description that I pulled off the internet of Robinhood, and all the rest of them I'm gonna go down there, and then this website I'm gonna leave a link to, because it's gonna also break down the pros and cons of each individual brokerage. But there's a lot here, so like I said, I don't want to make this an hour-long video. So anyway, okay, let's go. Okay, Robinhood could be a good option for new investors because it's got an easy-to-use platform, which I agree. That's not too overwhelming for first-timers, although experienced investors may find it overly simplistic. So I would, yeah, I guess you could say that, because if you watch some of these people who are on the internet, they're doing what I mentioned in one of my previous videos. They're doing like Fibonacci retracements, and they're tracking candlesticks and things like that. So like, if you want to do some more of that advanced stuff and follow the MACD, if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you don't even worry about it. But that's the type of stuff that Robinhood is probably lacking. But I say, as a new investor, it is user friendly and beginner friendly. So it's very straightforward. You don't have to dig around, because I would say I have an app. I'm not going to name drop them because they are not my favorite, but I use them. But they have a lot of tools and analysis and all that stuff, profit and loss margins and all that stuff built into their platform. But it's too much for a mobile phone, in my opinion. But anyway, I still use them. I'm trying to learn it. Anyway, so moving right along to TD Ameritrade. It's one of the largest online brokers, and it's made a sustained effort to sign up new investors, hence the large social media presence. Wow. Okay. TD Ameritrade has incorporated many features that will help new investors succeed, while still offering a plethora of investment options for seasoned investors. So that sounds like that might be a good middle ground for if Robinhood is too simplistic for you, and you want a little bit more data that you want to have access to prior to doing any investments or trading, then that'd be a good option for you. E-Trade, what we got here? So E-Trade has undoubtedly one of the easiest trading platforms to use, and so it's a good online broker for beginning investors. And I can't speak to E-Trade because I don't use them, but that might be one I might do in the future. But like I said, I have enough brokerage accounts right now. Fidelity, that one I don't mess around there too much because that's just my retirement account. But here they say Fidelity is a well-rounded broker that's good for both beginners and advanced investors. And I will say that it does have a lot of tools built into Fidelity. Of course, like, I don't use much of that. I just look at my retirement and just wave at it, and that's pretty much it. So anyway, that's the first four. Let's take a look at the next four here. We got Charles Schwab. That's another well-rounded online broker that's designed for both beginners and advanced investors as well. You have Merrill Edge, which has a lot of helpful resources for new investors, kind of like, some one-on-one stock investing and things like that, so you can kind of learn as you go. If you have an account with, it says especially if you have an account with Bank of America, so I guess they work hand in hand or some type of thing with Bank of America. But anyway, we've got Interactive Brokers. The only thing I do know about Interactive Brokers that I don't seem to see on some of these other ones, that, like I say, I know for a fact they do charge fees for trading. Some of these, like Robinhood and Fidelity, don't charge fees for doing trading, but some do. So you want to keep that in mind and be mindful of those fees. They're usually not too much. They're probably like a penny or a trade or something like that. And some of them are based on how big of volumes that you're trading at, because you can get discounts and things like that. But anyway, where are we at now? We're at SoFi Active Investing. I actually tried this once. I didn't stick with it just because, like I said, I was stretching myself too thin. I don't have the money to be invested in 12 different brokerages. But anyway, So it says SoFi offers a slew of financial products, but it's their SoFi active investing platform that's was it specifically optimized for young investors. Emphasis on young investors and not beginning investors. So I'm not sure what they mean by that. I don't know if they mean as in minors or kids, or they just mean like millennial, Gen Z. No clue. But anyway, um, but I do believe there might be crypto on there too, because I know some of these platforms do allow you to trade crypto. But for me, I stick with Coinbase because they're strictly crypto, and I usually have the best success rate with dealing with trading there and investing there as far as crypto. And I did try it on Robinhood at one point, but we're gonna leave that no comment for now. Um, Now the last four I got on my list as I guess the top beginner friendly investor or brokerage accounts. Right, is first no with Vanguard. Sorry, I'm talking about first trade. Vanguard. Okay, it says okay. Vanguard is an online broker for long-term investors. So it says so like SoFi. I believe it's going to be better for people who are actively investing, doing like swing trading and things like that, or day trading. Like I said, there's all these different names and terms that people use. So anyway, if you somebody going to be in and out of that every day, making trades and transactions and things like that, Vanguard is not the one for you. They're going to be for the long-term investors. You're going to buy, index funds or ETFs and let that money sit and keep rolling funds in there and just keep it moving, right? First Trade, okay, this is another online, of course. Well, they're all online, but this is another stockbroker that's good for those long-term investors who are planning for retirement. Okay, it has a nice set of features for both beginners and advanced investors. So again, like I said, it's beginner friendly. Like I mentioned about all the ones on this list, so go ahead and check them out when you get to the link below. Ally Invest is an option geared towards beginners and more. The platform doesn't charge trading commissions on select U.S. securities trades, so making it a viable option for those still figuring out the right portfolio balance. So this one, I would say the plus of that is that there are going to be options where there's no commission fees for certain trades. Not all of them, but some of them. So if you decide to go with that one, or if you already have one with that, that's something you want to make sure that that's what you're looking at prior to making any trades and things like that, right? And last but not least, Webull. This was one I used quite a bit of, and I actually like Webull because it is pretty advanced in comparison to like Robinhood, because those were the two I was using mainly the most of, and they were like night and day difference. Robinhood was so simplistic, where when I started to learn more about stocks and trading, I wanted to get more access to the information on certain companies and things like that, and Robinhood didn't offer that. So, and Webull did. So, well, I should say it does. So that it has that. I wouldn't even recommend this, I guess, as a beginner, but I would say if you're like intermediate, have some experience with trading, Webull will be a good platform for you. And obviously, if you're an advanced trader, Webull is definitely going to be a good platform you'll use. You probably already are using it. So anyway, that's it. So these are my first 12. And like I said, I will keep it short. I'm already running up on time here. Again, if I provide you any value here, I would appreciate it if you can hit the thumbs up, maybe subscribe. Share this with family and friends, or anyone that you may think have questions about brokerage accounts, may not be familiar with it, not sure if they want to jump the gun. Like I said, you can share this video and maybe they can check it out. And again, like I said, I'll share the link at the end of this. So if you're interested in reading more about it, learning about the pros and cons of each of these, or maybe you want to pick 2 or 3 of these, my recommendation is I would probably go with 2 to start with. Maybe go with one that's very beginner friendly, and then maybe look at one of the more intermediate ones on the list. And again, like I said, take a look at the link in the description below, and that will take you to where you can actually get the breakdown of the pros and cons of every one that I listed here today. And you can also use that in comparison to maybe ones that you're using already. All right, I'm tired. It's the end of the week. Happy Friday. I hope everybody have a great weekend. I don't plan on uploading over the weekend, but if I do, then it'll be bonus videos. But other than that, I will see everybody Monday, and hope you have a good weekend. Enjoy. Peace.